Ah, hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Untitled. God, I'm too close to the camera. The Untitled Manny and Marcus show. How you doing today, Manny?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. As you can see, I'm running around. I'm limber. I'm ready. I'm psyched up. Wrestling was exciting last night on both parts. There was a lot going on. Shout out to the chat. We will try to do our best to answer all the questions as much as we can. Mostly in the chat. It's Grunge Smurf. Welcome back to another edition of the Manny and Marcus show.
Hey.
Ho ho! We totally forgot to do that entrance. You know.
By now you should know who we are.
Hold on. If you're tuning in already, and you're on the Sharpshooter DSPN channel or the Sharpshooters network, and you don't know who the Manny and Marcus are, it's outrageous. In fact, I'm gonna say it's nutrageous. I don't even know what that means. So moving on, we're gonna just be talking about one topic all night, and it's gonna be Fyter Fest versus the Great American Bash. As you can see up above, it is the Wednesday Night War once again. And both shows this week of the Wednesday Night War.
So I'm gonna come clean. I accidentally read the spoiler, but I knew I was gonna watch NXT first anyway. But then, as I told you in the pre meeting, that basically once I watched NXT, it was like downhill. Like AEW had its good points for me, but like I don't know. I went to my highest high, and then it was suddenly like I've peaked this morning, and it's all downhill from here once I watch Keith Lee win that title.
Yeah. In order to watch it properly, you should have watched. And this is me. I chose to watch NXT first as well. But in order to watch these events properly, you should have watched Fyter Fest and then the Great American Bash. And then you have a 4-hour pay-per-view that is cohesive and have everything together. Because it would have made more sense. Because Fyter Fest felt like more of a warm-up show to a pay-per-view. And the Great American Bash felt like the pay-per-view. Like the main event cards of the card. And I'm going to start off and we're going to talk about Keith Lee winning and becoming limitless 2 belts. I don't know. Keith Lee 2 belts. I don't know what he's going by. Those straps, Lee. Whatever people are going by in the streets. And overall, I thought it was a really good match. And I was really invested. I wasn't spoiled by the many people who go out there and spoil wrestling, who I don't understand. Who are you people and why do you exist? Why? I hate you and you make me sick.
But you know what the other thing is? Like, there's people out there that do that, but then there's people like me that actually, I wouldn't even say I accidentally, I purposely clicked it. Like, I wanted to know the moment I saw it. I was like, I gotta know. I gotta know.
You have to resist that temptation, okay? It's like me and cocaine. Yes, it's flowing around everywhere, but I say no.
Just say no, kids.
Just say no. Yeah, so Keith Lee and Adam Cole, I felt like they did the damn thing. And there was psychologically sound. Keith Lee looked like a monster. And then it ends like the Avengers, I felt like, with Thanos, a.k.a. Karrion Kross, who I think is the new star of NXT. Is staring down Keith Lee as he's getting confetti and pyro in his epic celebration.
Oh,
and
do you think do you think Adam Cole's on his way out to Raw or SmackDown then?
I felt like it was an end. Like, I don't know where he goes from here, and I felt like this was the end. Especially after the show, they're showing him shaking Keith Lee's hand out of respect, as being a better man. I think Adam Cole is moving on, and this is now the Keith Lee Karrion Kross show. And I am looking forward to it. Keith Lee comes off as the ultimate babyface, and Karrion Kross looks like the perfect villain. Him and Scarlett. And I look forward to their feud. How did you feel about that?
I felt the match was amazing. Like, thing is, when you know that there's gonna be, you know who's gonna win, but like, you're hoping that, at least hope they put on a good match though.
Yeah.
And they did. They delivered. Like, I think, how long have we been waiting for this match? Like 3 weeks now?
Maybe a little bit more because they were teasing it before In Your House when he was like walking up to him and going like, "Oh, I'm looking at your title next" and stuff. So it's about 3 or 4 weeks.
Because I don't know, the triple threat was either 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I can't really remember, but I was so hyped for this match straight away off the bat. Mm-hmm. And then and like when we were talking about, it was going to be Karrion Kross versus Adam Cole, and we had that conversation, who would you like to see first? And I was going with Keith Lee, because Keith Lee is a monster. Like he's a lovable monster. And like he's got a story that most people can connect with. And and this whole match was beautiful. You had a really good send off for Adam Cole if he is to leave NXT to move on to Raw or SmackDown. And then you've got this amazing story to go forward with Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. I'm looking forward to NXT. I think NXT are on the up now again.
Yeah.
The resurgence.
Yeah, I feel like they created so many new stars recently. And in the creation of stars, I feel like they did a lot of good work for Io and Tegan, who I'm looking forward to their match next week after that promo of Tegan going like, "I'm from Wells and I need people to stop feeling sorry for me. I don't need anybody." And Io just like something like Mewtwo from fucking Pokemon floating in the water talking about, "You can't beat me," because she's not using her mouth at all. You don't see her lips ever move, but "You can't beat me. I'm the face of NXT" and all that. And I was like, damn, I can't wait for that. That looks like another boss battle, and that's next week going against the AEW event. And dare I might say, I dare myself that match might, because of that promo, be bigger than Brian Cage and Mox.
It's a lot of stop-start. It feels very one-sided. The Mox and Brian Cage match, even before it was announced that Mox was taking time to stay home while Renee has COVID, it still felt one-sided. You had the occasional Mox doing a promo in, I don't know where, in the wasteland somewhere, and then it was more just Taz and Cage just shooting the shit all the way for like the last couple of weeks to build to this match.
Yeah. So we're going to move into that one and talk about Taz reintroducing the FTW title, the long retired title from ECW that he created for himself because he couldn't get a title shot. I felt like this was a disgrace to the title, to me personally, because Taz created that belt for a title shot he could not get in ECW. I think it was Sabu or somebody, and they were ducking him, and he was pissed off about it, and that's what that title was born out of. It wasn't a title meant to just be handed to somebody who already has been handed so much. Brian Cage just came in, got a title shot. He's fighting the big dogs and everything, and I feel like it was just weird for him to give that title, especially the same week the MVP gave himself a title. It's kind of like, shouldn't you do this after the title match? Because like we know he's got a title match next week. Unless Mox decides not to show up again, but like we know there's a title match next week. It's been promoted that there's a title match next week, unless they know something we don't know, where there's not going to be a title match next week. I felt some of the stuff that Taz was saying really like threw me off. Like when he gave Brian Cage the title, he's like, "That's some renegade shit." Going into Fight of the Fallen with momentum. It's not really momentum if I'm going to hand you something. Yeah, it was a time when Bischoff had the Triple H title. It was like, here you go. It didn't really have much to it, and I feel like it took away. Like, he has a title match next week. He's not being screwed out of anything, and I just feel like it was just AEW relying too much on nostalgia, and they wanted that buzz for this week because you were cheated out of technically a title match because of the COVID situation. But we're going to talk about now the main event of AEW: Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. Shout out to Wes and Chris who joined the chat. Chris, I'm glad to see that you're alive. Last email made it sound like you were dead, and I'm glad to see that you're okay. I'm going to say, and this may be a hot take, I may have enjoyed Jericho and Orange Cassidy more than I enjoyed Keith Lee and Adam Cole. And I know the stakes were more. Yeah, I know. It seems like blasphemy. It seemed like blasphemy. I really wanted Keith Lee to win the title, and I thought everything was perfect in their match. They did nothing wrong. 5-star, whatever you want to give it. $8 given. I don't know how I review matches anymore. But I really enjoyed it. But there was something about Orange Cassidy and Jericho that I was in awe of, and I really enjoyed that match. Is it a main event match? Probably not. It's probably a starter, something in between. But I really enjoyed this match, and I may have enjoyed it more. How did you feel about that?
I don't know. This might have been one of the few times I saw a Jericho match and I wasn't interested. Like, I honestly didn't feel interested about this, and I know you liked it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to like it. But
damn it! We're in agreement, Manny. We're in agreement. It's the Media Market Show. Hey, ho, ho. We agree with everything. Damn it.
But I don't know. Like, this should have started open, or at least been in the middle somewhere. I would have either ended it with the 8-man tag or the tag team title match, because those matches seem to mean something. This definitely just didn't feel like anything for me. It was only main event because Jericho was Jericho, and if Moxley was there, it would have been the title match. So this was the wrong place to put this match.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the wrong placement of being a main event, but I think it was one of the things they had. It was a really tough card for them to put together, I think, once Mox went down, and they realized that they were going to lose this week. Like, Keith Lee and Adam Cole, and I know this is a tape show, Keith Lee and Adam Cole is a really big main event. And there was nothing that they could have delivered, whether it was the 8-man, Jericho and Orange Cassidy, that would have competed with this match. Like, I expect them to lose the ratings war this week, even though NXT was spoiled. And I felt like they probably went back and forth on what should we close it with, the 8-man or Orange Cassidy and Jericho. And I agree with you, they should have ended with the 8-man. That 8-man tag was all hell exciting, and it had all the major players involved. And Rey Fenix, as we alluded to, as you said earlier, and I think I've said a few times, is the most amazing wrestler in wrestling right now. He is the heir apparent to Rey Mysterio.
How are you gonna dislike a man? If anyone dislikes Rey Fenix, how are you gonna dislike a man that managed to work the camera whilst beating up Cash Wheeler? when he hits him in the corner and the camera just feels perfectly. And he's like,
yeah, he went full Alexa Bliss. The whole man, and then he did the spot with the Canadian Destroyer all the way to the outside, jumped off a person's back into a Canadian Destroyer. Him and Nick Jackson did some shit when they're tight roping on the thing and they jump off. And I was like, man, this is some crazy shit and amazing. And I was actually shocked about the winners. I really thought that the Bucks and FTR was going to win this one. How did you feel?
well, first of all, that's a lie, Marcus, because you picked the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros to win.
Did I?
Yeah.
Damn! I really thought I went the other way on that.
And then to be honest, I was hoping that FTR and the Young Bucks were gonna win, because that would have given me a point first off, and then second off it. But I can see where they're going with it. Like they were working well as a team, but then now they've thrown some dissension together, which heightens the feud a little bit more because he super kicked him in the face. But what I would have preferred to see, I'm not sure if I wasn't paying attention, was if Pentagon and all decided to just drive off in the car again. They would walk up the rampway, because they came in that way. I was like, you might as well drive off with the car.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I don't understand the value of them being like, they acknowledge that they stole this car and they have stolen this car for over the week, and that they are running around with a warrant to their name for a week. And I was like, no, you shouldn't add that. They just stole the car. Don't add me about the legal obligations. I did not see the ascension I wanted to see from the Revival and Young Bucks. I felt like this match should have been, and this is probably why I picked the Butcher and the Blade them to win, is that I thought the dissension of the Revival and the Bucks would have escalated more. Sure, they didn't tag each other, and they were trying to resist tagging each other, but I saw a lot of camaraderie, and like one super kick hit. I think it's, which one is he? Dax? He's Dax, right? I always get him mixed up.
Which one? The bald one?
Baldwin. The chubby Baldwin.
Let's just call him Scott Dawson. That's what his name is. Scott Dawson.
It's Chad Dawson, right? I don't know. Their names are. I get it mixed up. And that's the problem with the nice one. So I didn't see that dissension. I went, like they've had pull aparts before of these tag teams. I feel like this should have been the one where the Young Bucks and the Revival started the feud, and they should have started swinging on each other. And that didn't. Do you think,
to take it a little bit off topic for a discussion piece, do you think the Young Bucks are intentionally losing because you got Kenny and Adam Page as tag team champions, and you got Cody as a champion, that they need to kind of shuffle it up a bit so like the EVPs are not like ahead of the company, like all of them?
I think there's kind of a bit of that. Like they're trying not to be the evil guys in charge. You can see it, like in the way. You go all the way back to when the Young Bucks took that loss to the Private Party in the first tag team tournament. And Cody saying he's not going to win the title. And Kenny Omega just kind of just walking around, kind of doing nothing. I guess he's tag team champion. They're trying to make an effort, but they still have 90% of the belts. They have all of them except for one. And that's Jon Moxley. But I'm not going to push back because I feel like those are some of the guys that are the best in their company right now. I mean, there's some good guys. Like, it'd be hard to say, they're just at the bottom of the card. But the Young Bucks are one of their best tag teams. Cody is one of their best singles wrestlers. And Kenny and Paige are pretty good as a tag team. So,
to quickly throw a question from the chat. What was the worst match of the night? Either brand.
The worst match of the night... I'm going to say Murder Hawk and Joey Janela. I just didn't care. Stuff didn't make sense with Jake Roberts getting involved and Sonny Kiss with the 450. I didn't care. And just stuff was happening.
For me, it was either Santana Garrett versus Mercedes Martinez or Nyla Rose versus Kenzie Page and Killian King. Like, that match just made That made no sense. Like, it was a handicap match against two losers, essentially, because their records were 0-2 and 0-4. It's like, it was Nyla Rose versus the losers.
Well, for me, at least the point of the Nyla Rose match was that Nyla Rose was reestablishing her dominance and pointing to the crowd at Sheeta, who shouldn't be in the crowd with her toy belt, and saying that her time is numbered. And I'm okay with that. For me, with the Archer and Janela, I feel like it was too long. Joey Janela has been billed as a jobber, and I don't understand why the Murder Hawk just couldn't run through it. And then Sonny Kiss was getting attacked before, and then Jake causing interference and teasing the snake that I don't think was actually there. And I was like, none of this is necessary. It was like, I don't know how long the match was, but it felt longer than what it actually was.
In this day and age, if he continues to weaponize a snake to attack people, at what point is Peter going to get involved?
I don't know if Peter cares about snakes. I don't know. I honestly don't know. We're going to move back to NXT. My second favorite match of the night, or third, I don't know. It's all blended together. I thought it was a really good night of wrestling. I really enjoyed Swerve Scott and Gargano. I thought it was really smooth and fundamentally sound. I really enjoyed all the counters they did to each other. Like, it was just counter after counter. If you ever wanted to see a match when it was just like, oh, this is good defense from both guys, it was like, oh, this is the match. Because it elevated Scott and it reestablished Gargano back in the ruling column. What did you think about this match?
I don't think Gargano even needed reestablishing. Like, he's an established character, but it was a definite, it was a good showing from Swerve Scott. He's not just this, how do you guys put it? Shucking and jiving all the time. This was a good showing for Swerve, where you can tell that he's an accomplished wrestler, and if given the right type of opponent and the time, he can produce this. And it's not just, I wouldn't say it was just Johnny Gargano. Like, it takes two to tango, and I definitely feel like Swerve held his own.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was reading the chat about a question I was going to get to later. Don't worry. I forgot who, Shield getting 90. I forget who that was. Anyway, so yeah, he wasn't. It was an elevation. I felt like it was really good for Swerve to actually have a good showing against a top tier opponent, and hopefully we get more of that. With recently when I think they're gonna actually start doing some call ups in NXT. I feel like after the Mia Yim Candice match, I feel like Mia Yim is going up. Just the way she left it, I don't know. It was during the commercial break, but it was in the picture-in-picture with her leaving the chair. And I think Adam Cole is also going up to the main roster. I mean, he re-upped his contract, who knows, last winter or whatnot. And I feel like him and the Undisputed Era, this was like their last showing. And I don't feel like it's their show anymore. Now that Keith Lee is champion, and it seems like they have moved on from that, and it's the Karrion Kross Keith Lee show now. Do you feel Adam Cole, or what's the future you have for Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era and some of these guys that are on this show?
The Undisputed Era are probably going to end up on Raw, and I can see Adam Cole probably running Raw for a bit. Like, who else is there on Raw? Like, there really is no one.
Drew McIntyre currently doesn't have a real opponent, and for Adam Cole to come out the day after Extreme Rules or somewhere like that and challenges Drew McIntyre will be interesting. It'll be something to captivate. The other Undisputed Era just jumped Drew McIntyre. And you can see some matches with him and Roderick Strong. And they'll be solid matches. But right off the bat, if he gets called up, I feel like Vince is going to look at him and be like, that's it? He this tall? He that small?
To go off topic about Extreme Rules, I read a post the other day in the mid-card mess somewhere. I don't know who said it, but like I can honestly see this happening, where you get Dolph Ziggler beating Drew McIntyre, and then Otis coming to cash in on him. I was like, oh shit, that could happen.
No, I don't want that to happen. Drew deserves better than that. Even though Raw received its lowest rating ever again or something like that, Drew McIntyre is not showing it to bring in the money. But Raw's been good and they're not bringing it in. Back to this war. What did you think of the Private Party and the tag team championship between Omega and Page against the Private Party?
The Private Party, it's hit and miss for me sometimes. But this week they definitely hit. Like, they showed bursts of like they are a really good tag team, but I think their offense often makes me think they're not as good as they can be because it doesn't look as impactful as it should. And that silly string's got to go. It really got to go. I really hate that move.
Although it worked as a defensive move against the Buckshot, which I liked. But it didn't actually work in the end for him. I think he got slammed on the team. Oh, my problem with the Private Party is that it's like looking at the Street Profits, but it's two Montez Fords wrestling, in which they're both athletic and they both do the flips, and there's not a power or a technician between them. Like they don't break it up. Like, you can tell Quinn's the better athlete, but Cassidy is also... They don't have, like, regular wrestling moves.
I think Quinn is the better wrestler. I think Cassidy... Yeah. Whenever I see him, he seems a bit green.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't... He knows what he wants to be, and we can all see what he can be. I just don't think he's, like, established himself as what he wants to achieve in wrestling, if that makes any sense, which I don't think it does.
And he's only 22, as they alluded to on the show, and he'll be 23 next week. He's still young, and like you said, he's still green. But I thought this was a solid match. It's better than some of their previous matches. What?
Who would you rather have in your corner, the Private Party or Arnold and Willis Jackson from Different Strokes?
Well, since they're both being saved by a white man, Matt Hardy and oh god, I forgot that. I would go with the Private Party, cause I just got what you talking about, Willis. That's all I get from Different Strokes.
What do you make of the Private Party's new entrance music?
Oh, I like it. You know, it's
I
better than what
the
they
old
had.
one.
What?
No, I prefer the old one because
really?
Because you had lyrics you could sing along to.
It's a private party. Let's get it started.
It's a private party.
I didn't like that. I liked that it feels more like a modern club song. Like, it feel like the first one was Little John and the East Side Boys in the early 2000s. I don't need that. We need to update it to what people are listening to now in the club. Like, I don't imagine the Private Party were about 12, maybe not even born when Little John had his rise, and that's the type of music they were listening to. And so they upgraded to what people of their age are listening to, and I feel like it meshed well better. And even their Tron with the lady with the glow, like I feel like it really works for them. Is there any other thing you would like to talk about today between Fyter Fest and the Bash?
The travesty that happened to Robert Stone as he got run over by a tank.
Oh, he was killed. It was killed off. Like, I'm expecting him to be on crutches next week. But come on, let's be honest. That tank weighs less than this water bottle I'm holding right here. It seemed like, like the old big wheels. It doesn't seem like that thing is that heavy. But who knows?
Well, you got to remember, Shotzi was still in it, so it was a little bit more heavy when it was first put on him.
That's true, and it proves again that Aaliyah is useless. But I wouldn't take away from that is that Robert Stone is still looking for clients, and he's going to the wrong locker room. He needs to stop going to the babyface locker room and looking for people. He needs to look for heels. He needs Mercedes Martinez, who's a vicious, cold killer, apparently. And I really don't know any more heels.
What did Killian Dane do to him? Like, what did he do to Killian Dane for him to first attack him?
He threw coffee on him. He was drinking his coffee. He came up to Shotzi, and Shotzi said something, and she was like, "I don't want to be a part of your loser brand or something." And then he's like, "What?" And he threw his coffee back, and that's why Killian Dane was upset because he hit him with the coffee.
And the last thing we definitely need to talk about is the podcast wrestler of the Hall of Fame wrestler Leon Ruff being included in a storyline between Bronson Reed and Tony Nese.
My only takeaway from this is that with Tony Nese still counting his abs, and at one point when he went out to the outside, somebody went out there and counted their abs to Tony Nese. And Bronson Reed, I'm happy he's involved into a storyline, and so my boy Leon Ruff. But I have no idea when this storyline took place. I have no idea when Leon Ruff got his from Tony Nese.
It seemed like they alluded to having a pre-show match, but that wasn't shown anywhere, I believe.
No, this is a rare miscue when they have a problem with telling a story that I did not see this anywhere, and that Leon Ruff had this match at all. But I thought it was a good showing from Bronson Reed, and to quote Eric, I do want to see the tag team of Bronson Reed and Leon Ruff, and they be the Rough Thick Boys. Yes, it sounds like a porno brand, but it seems like it worked. It'd be good for both of them. And
what,
you.
BBM porn? Big black men.
BBC.
No, they're not black.
Leon Ruff is black.
Yeah, but he's not big.
You don't know that. Oh.
What did you make of the street fight?
The street fight I thought was good. I thought it was physical. I don't remember who I picked in this one, but I thought Mia Yim. I feel like Mia Yim was going to get the win, but Candice won with the Knox and I thought the fall off the rickety chair, the table into all the chairs looked painful as all hell. But I thought it was a good match. I didn't feel like it was anything great, but I thought it was a really good match.
So, to announce the winner of the Sharpshooter Pick'em was... Need a drum roll.
I'm sure I have a drum roll sound somewhere on this thing, but I choose not to do it.
So, ending the week, Eric won again with 8 picks to your 7 to my 5. As I said, I was going to go out to pick differently to attempt to win. That backfired incredibly. So, the final scores for the Great American Bash and Fyter Fest is me coming in last place, followed by the grand finale with 12 picks. And Eric just edging him with one more extra pick with 13 wins the pick'em.
It was the damn Gargano Swerve Scott win, alright? Eric, if you're watching this right now, if you're listening, it was the damn Gargano Swerve Scott win. If I believed that match was happening, I would have never picked Swerve Scott to beat Johnny Takeover, Johnny Wrestling. It is outrageous, and when you defend that title again, that title against me. I'm telling you, Eric, I'm coming for you, brother.
So, as decided in the pre-show, Eric must defend against Marcus for the Fight of the Fallen.
Next
week, as Marcus is now the #1 contender.
Yes, and if I have to cheat, I will. I will read spoilers if I have to. I'm playing. There are the spoilers. It's a live show.
And we're just pointing it clear. If anyone in the Manny and Marcus show wins, we both win.
Yes, we split the bill half. We're both champions. We're half champions. Similar to Michelle McCool and Layla, we are the half champions. Oh, with that being said, and Eric going to be crowned this Saturday, and his ego is going to be out of control. Manny, what did you feel? Who won the 2-week event? AEW or NXT?
When you play both, if you were to play both shows together, so you were watching 4 hours of each, I would pick NXT. NXT had the better matches. Like, NXT won last week for me, and then NXT definitely won. I cared more about the NXT matches this week, to be honest. AEW was just, I feel like AEW was just 2 regular Dynamites, to be honest, and I think they were really hampered by Mox not being there. So like, it felt like it was just 2 Dynamites with the Fyter Fest thrown on top of it.
Yep, I'm going with
skin, essentially.
I'm going with NXT. I feel like, and the reason I'm picking NXT is just the variety. Again, I like my shows to have more variety. AEW had some solid matches this week, and I told you I thought they had the better main event this week, but they just gave me a barrage of every different type of tag match I can ever have. 8-man, 6-man, 2-on-1 handicap. Tag match on a pole, whatever tag match you can find, they have dug it up, and I've seen enough of them. And when you go with the full scope of Great American Bash, if it was just one show, there was not 2 matches that were alike. Whether it was a strap match, a street fight, Swerve Scott Gargano, Thatcher and Lorcan, Lee and Cole for the main event, and even the 6-man between I can't say their names, Brazango and them.
Legado del Fantasma.
I don't know why that's so hard for me. Legado del Fantasma. And so I just felt like the variety of all the shows. I'm gonna forget next week.
You'll forget it by Saturday.
I'll tell you this. I will probably get their name right before I figure out which one is Cash Wheeler and which one is Dax Shepard. And I don't even think his name is Dax Shepard. I believe that's an actor. So I feel like NXT win with a sweep. Now, in the chat, I'm going to ask, do you guys have any further questions?
Now, who ruins Keith Lee's celebration NXT next week? It's easy, isn't it? That one.
That's Kross and Scarlett. They're going to bring... He broke their hourglass that I'm assuming they got on Amazon and cost a real pretty penny. In fact, I looked up hourglass the other day, and I know that was an expensive hourglass. And... They had plans. They had plans to use that hourglass for Adam Cole, and he ruined it. And so, therefore, the Kross is going to stake his name that he is the new #1 contender.
Okay, so Wes also asked, what's the next movie to recast? How about No Holds Barred with Hogan and Zeus? Could do that.
What, go cast Hogan to play Hogan? And Zeus to play Zeus?
No, I feel like we recast that completely. No holds barred.
Well, I believe the next things that we're planning on recasting, we can add No Holds Barred to the list of things that in our queue. But I believe next will be Hamilton. We're going to recast to play Hamilton on the Disney Plus, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The most difficult thing about recasting Hamilton is we're probably going to end up using all the black wrestlers.
Damn it!
Whenever we recast anything, we're going to have trouble.
I told you should have saved your Sasha Banks. You should have saved your Sasha Banks. And you used her. I don't know where you would use Sasha in this actual Hamilton, but you know.
I still haven't watched it yet. I've got to watch it tomorrow night.
Oh. Well, I hope you enjoy it. So, Hamilton, Turtles, there's a few other things coming up. We have other bonus episode content coming out really soon. hopefully you guys enjoy each and every one of them. Are there any further questions? Because that's about it for me. Did Wes and Manny plan that? Plan what?
The no holds barred and how I had it to hand.
Oh! No, Manny always has that on standby. That's his one move at the pickup. He goes to the bar, he talks to the girl, he's chilling with her, and he's like, yeah, but baby, you want to go back?
You watch No Holds Barred?
You want to come back to my place and watch No Holds Barred?
What is that, a porno?
Just wait and see. Better. Actually, porno acting is probably better than No Holds Barred. Rip! But my favorite scene in that movie is when he picks up the guy in the beginning and he's like, "What's that smell?" He's like, "It's Dookie," and I just started laughing.
Gargano is the worst heel in the game. WWE killed Scott. He is now just a Kofi clone. I don't know if he's a Kofi clone.
No, I feel like he's different. Kofi is more outlandish and bright, and Gargano's a good heel. He's annoying. He's unlikable. And I feel like during this, the Keith Lee and the, I forgot what they called themselves. The Limitless team and the Gargano's feud, I thought it really worked all together. I really like Gargano as a heel. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, so Chris, we're glad you're doing fine now.
Way to survive.
We were slightly worried that you hadn't appeared in the chat for a couple of weeks, for our entire week.
And damn it, I didn't achieve my goal. We're 38 minutes in. I should have been looking at the clock. I think I had it at one point.
The Undisputed Era will be what's that? Foil for Drew.
A foil for Drew.
But I really think he's going to AEW next year. He's one of the original PWG guys.
Nah, he ain't going.
But I don't think WWE are going to let him go just like that. I think WWE are gonna throw a lot of money at that guy.
Yeah, and they already re-upped his contract.
That guy knows how to own a ring, have presence on the microphone. He's what WWE wants in terms of storytelling. So I definitely think he fits their mold of sports entertainment.
He's Shawn Michaels without the headache in Shawn Michaels' pride. I feel like, and he carries himself
what did you make of Matt Riddle being compared to Shawn Michaels?
By Vince? I can see where Vince is talking about, but it's one of those things is that he's a blonde hair guy who may appeal to. I don't know. Okay? If he survives these allegations, the sky's the limit for Matt Riddle. I feel like he has star potential.
Oh, he did try and defend himself on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I ain't supposed to say this, but I believe you, yo. I believe that's a crazy bitch. But who knows? Who knows? I could be wrong, and then this is gonna come back and haunt me. I really enjoy Matt Riddle's work in general. Like, I feel like he brings a lot to the table. Even his unique promo ability. I feel like it's Jeff Hardy-esque charisma. And I believe that's the end of the show, guys. And Chris is with the F. Sean. We know that for a fact. But that is the end of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Hey.
Ho, ho.
So, feel free to like and subscribe. And tune in Saturday where we recap all the wrestling again.
Marcus, pause. You haven't promoted the merch. If you want a shirt like this...
I'm still paused.
I'm paused. If you would like a shirt like this, there'll be a link in the description where you can go to the storefront where we are selling merch.
You know what I like about the way you sold that? And this is a side note. It just looks like you were trying to breastfeed everybody by going like this. You're like, look at this. Take my milk. But yeah, please go to, what is it called? Star Frontier / the Sharpshooter, DSPN or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to wear my shirt. I have a shirt that I'm going to wear Saturday. Currently, I'm wearing my Karrion Kross shirt.
Is that the DSPN crew shirt?
Yeah. I was going to wear that Saturday.
I also have the DSPN crew shirt, but that's somewhere flying across the Atlantic somewhere.
You like to believe the Atlantic. I think it's like sitting in Florida right now, just sitting there. It's just like, we'll move it later. But yeah, buy the merch.
It might be covered in COVID when it comes over.
It's like, oh, the outbreak is done, and then Manny opened the bag of the shirt. Oh. Yeah, you can get masks, you can get shirts, you can get a hoodie. You should buy the merch, support the show, and they're all dope. I'm really impressed about each and every one of them came out. I'm really impressed. Oh,
this one isn't actually the one you can buy on the website. This was the prototype one. We actually did have to put one on the website, but it got a lot of people wanting the merch, so that's why we now have a store.
Shout out to Luchador for having 30 to 40 shirts. I mean, the question is about having 30 or 40 shirts. Can you still fit the 30 and 40 shirts? Because I know I have shirts, and I'm hoping they bring back the Aces and Eights, because I can start wearing my Aces and Eights shirt back on Impact in 2 weeks. And people know what that's about. Represent. I forgot even their hand logo. That's how long it's been since the Aces and Eights has been around. Like, they used to throw up something again. I'm just going to throw up the Too Sweet. Alright, that's it, guys. This was a 40-minute showcase of the Immortals. This is a great show, epic show. Next week, tune in Saturday for the Sharpshooters Live, where Eric will be crowned the new Sharpshooters champion. For now. And you know, we're going to talk about other stuff. Eric watched Impact this week. I watched Impact this week. It should be an interesting show. I know, you don't worry about it. I don't think we're going to cover it that much. We're not going to do an hour on Impact.
We're probably going to do an hour on AEW.
I don't know. Who knows this time? I think he may have actually enjoyed the show. Or did he? Tune in Saturday to find out if Eric wants to spend another hour on AEW. Until then, stay sharp, guys. Have a good day. This should be the outro. Alright, thank you for watching this up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out, deuces. Thanks to everybody that's been watching. Peace out. I can't find the end button. There it is. End broadcast.